Hello everybody, welcome back. I am EonShiKeno, and I'm going to cast a best of 3 from MLG Anaheim. This is going to be some pool play matches between I am MVP. He's our red Terran player in the top part of Metalopolis, and his opponent on the other side of the map, KiWiKaKi from Clan Rain. He is our yellow Protoss player down here in the bottom. KiWiKaKi, previously of Clan Root. Couple of things we can say about KiWiKaKi. He's a professional poker player, and when I mean professional, he's like, has been on TV playing poker. Let's see, what else can we say about KiWiKaKi. His play style, definitely unique. You don't see him, following the standard metagame. He doesn't, do the strats most other people do. He usually comes with his own stuff, and it's fairly unique. So that's probably something we'll see coming out of KiWiKaKi this game. But in general, just a really good player. And just recently was invited to the Blizzard Invitational, so he'll be representing North America and fighting for those top 2 positions. And of course, MVP. It's he's awesome. He's from Clan Incredible Miracles. Has won GSL Code S twice. Awesome player, and he's got so many good people on his team. He's got Nesty, Losier, and the team you have really relates to how good you are as a player, because practicing partners really help you challenge yourself, and the better practice partners you have, the better you're going to be for having to play against those better players. So just being on a Clan I am just makes you a better player in general. So what kind of builds we got going here for both players? And we do not have a gas yet for MVP, so I'm kind of expecting a fast expand coming out of him, and probably that's what KiWiKaKi is going to see here. He's got that pesky harassing probe. Looks like this guy's going to get stuck in there. Yep, he's going to be trapped in there. He is walled off. He is trapped. He's not going to be able to go anywhere. He's going to do some harassing here with this probe for the time being. Just get as much damage as he can down. Nice harassing there. Just poking everything just once. Why not? That's 5 extra damage, or 5 less damage you won't have to do whenever you try to attack them. I've seen KiWiKaKi do some pretty interesting Warp Prism Rush plays. That's definitely something we might see on against MVP, who's going to go for this fast expand. Usually with a fast expand, they put bunkers out in the front to protect their base, and if you use a Warp Prism, you can kind of circumnavigate those bunkers, get in the back of their base, and do a lot more damage that way. You can just ignore the bunkers. So expansion going to go down for MVP here. And at this point, KiWiKaKi has to be pretty aware of the fact that there's going to be an expansion going up. So we'll see what he's going to go for this game. Chrono boosting on his warp gate a little bit. Chrono boosting out a stalker. Still on 1 gas. We may see KiWiKaKi go for an expansion first. Not going to get that SCV. That guy's going to sneak away. His luck turned out to be a little bit better than the probe player. The probes from KiWiKaKi's that got trapped here in MVP's base. And here we have the standard 3 racks going up after the expansion from MVP. He's got some options in this situation. We might see him throw down Tech Lab, start researching STEM, and then go for some type of timing push when STEM finishes with some Marines and Marauders. That may happen. Expansion going to go down for KiWiKaKi. And his is just a little bit behind MVP's. MVP's is just about ready to be finished. He still has to transfer that into an orbital before he flies it over there. Pure Marine so far for MVP. No gas yet. Another gateway going down. Whenever your opponent does go for a fast expand and no gas, you really don't have to worry about getting the robo as soon, just because you don't have to worry about, sorry, what I should have said is you don't have to worry about getting an observer as fast, because, getting the expansion is going to slow down any possible cloak banshee harass, and that's kind of one of the main usefulnesses of an observer, is just, scout around for one, and also, have some detection in case they do go for a wow, this actually, he snuck in here. MVP with some nice scouting. It's very rare you see someone sneak an SCV in like after the 5-minute mark into a Protoss base after the stalkers are out. So nice scouting here from MVP, sneaking around. He's going to see everything. Doesn't have to waste a scan or anything like that. Sees the 3 gateway expand, and that's going to be nice on his side. And KiWiKaKi is going to be feeling like, oh man, how did I let an SCV in my base? That's kind of bad. So he knows everything, And what is this? A big push coming, a lot of Marines coming, and that isn't, there's not even going to do stim. He's just going to bypass the stim, just going to go 4 racks, straight up 2 gas coming along the way, and this is going to be a pretty big attack here from KiWiKaKi. He's making probes, he's making forges, and I don't think he's aware of this. Let's check the vision. He is not aware of this. Making a forge, warping in some zealots, warping in some sentries, he's pushing up, and let's see, is he aware of it yet? Now he's aware of it. And this is going to be a pretty good attack here coming from MVP if he just doesn't get too trapped by force fields. KiWiKaKi is going to try and delay this as long as possible. Wow, losing that sentry straight up. Nice control there by MVP. Look at this scoot and shoot all the way back here. Zealot's just dropping like crazy. He's going to kill that other sentry. Nice control there from KiWiKaKi, pulling it back, but doing quite a bit of damage with just some sentries. And there he goes. Takes out the sentry, sorry, with those Marines. Going to take out a Stalker. And stealing a lot of damage. Your supply count, 54 versus 42. And he's going to lose some probes here. Forced to lose some probes. The Stalker count actually is kind of dropping again right now, but nice control here from MVP. Just great micro. The Zealots now being warped in. Those are going to be handy. And it looks like KiWiKaKi is going to be able to fight this off, but I mean, he's lost quite a few probes. We can check the probe count, 34 versus 32. And that's saying something because Protoss players usually do have a higher probe count, higher harvester count, just because they do have the Chrono boosting feature, which of course gets those probes out, 50% faster. So just being on equal grounds here with a Protoss player is a pretty good feat. So that attack worked out pretty well. Didn't even bother getting stim, just an interesting timing attack there. Stim coming up. That may be the signal for the next timing attack. Factory coming out and an engineering bay. 2 more gas coming up. Bunker going down. Worried about any type of repercussions from his attack. MVP is just getting a little bit prepared. Throwing down that engineering bay. We'll probably see a missile turret placed pretty soon somewhere around the front, just in case he goes for DTs. He did scout his opponent out, but there's a possibility that a Twilight Council could have been hidden from him and he didn't see it, so it wouldn't surprise me if we see MVP throw down a missile turret just in case. So KiWiKaKi holding this Cell Naga Tower here. Another scout coming from MVP. I love these just constant SCV scouting throughout this game. And this time KiWiKaKi is ready for it, takes it out before it even gets anywhere near his base. That guy, unfortunately, didn't get any information there for MVP. So let's check the production here from KiWiKaKi. He's on 4 gate. Looks like he's getting his +1 finished. +1 armor finishes now, and he's starting +2 armor, so going for a lot of armor. Let's see, he's probably getting charge. He's going to have to get charge. I mean, whenever you go for the +2 armor upgrades as a Protoss player, yeah, here comes charge. You're going to be going Zealots. The reason you get +2 armor on your Zealots is because the majority of their health is based in their life as opposed to their shields, and the upgrade for armor, or for Protoss ground armor, is only affecting your health. So their shields, you'll take full damage on your shields until you get down to your just health, and then that's when the armor kicks in. So for Stalkers, you can see here it's 80-80, it's even, so the armor upgrade isn't as important for the Stalkers. That and, of course, they're ranged units, so they won't be taking as much damage. And look at this, once again, MVP, another scouting SCV. He's just always on the ball and just always all over the place, and we're going to see a fast third here from KiWiKaKi. Taking a risk, he's a little bit behind, and he's going to scout this out. MVP is going to scout this out, and that's going to be such good news for MVP. He's going to be like, oh, cool, he's taking a risk. I'm going to come punish him for it. And we can see here, big Marine Marauder Ball pushing the stim finish. +1 is just about to finish. Combat Shield's just now finishing. He's got 1 medevac. And KiWiKaKi is going around the map. Looks like he's going to try and counter pressure here. He's got his charge close to being finished. +2 is just about finished. DT's on the way. He's going to be able to use those DTs to defend his base here a little bit. Going to force scans on MVP. And we're going to have a good old-fashioned base trade, it looks like here. Proxy pylons here at the front. Looks like a DT tried to sneak in, but there's that missile turret I was talking about earlier. It's just now finishing. Focus fire going to go down on this Nexus. MVP is going to take this out, and there's so much action going on right now. KiWiKaKi is going to lose this Nexus pretty easily. And he's going to have to chrono boost some units here. What do we got coming in? Some DTs. There we go. DTs and 2 sentries. I like that. Going to be able to force field that ramp. Buy some time. Let those DTs get a couple kills. Oh, nice job there. Focusing the sentries. Scan going to go down. He's going to need to kill those DTs. But unfortunately, doesn't have enough DPS. Oh, no. Bad move there by KiWiKaKi. Must not be controlling this. Looking at the other fight. It looks like MVP is going to get up here, up the ramp, start dealing some damage. And he's going to come back here to the main mineral line, focus fire, kill that photon cannon. It's dealing a lot of damage, and we can look back here at KiWiKaKi's base, just trying to get up that ramp also. Fortunately, MVP just a little bit further ahead, quickly trying to make some pylons. He's going to get close to being supply blocked, and deactivates all of these warp gates, so he's now down to 3 warp gates, but he still does have that Dark Shrine. He can warp in some DTs. As far as scans go, he has enough for 1 scan here at his main, and KiWiKaKi just GGing right there. Definitely farther behind in the base count. We can see here back at MVP's main, he has more than enough Marauders and Medevacs to deal with these small Zealot force back here. So just from start to finish, it seems like MVP just controlled the pace of the game, had amazing scouting, and just that timing attack with the Marines. He just went out there just making those 4 barracks, just hit with like, I think it was like 10, 15 Marines before he even got a tech lab. Just going out there, just did a lot of damage, forced a lot of probes to get killed, lost a lot of mining time for KiWiKaKi. And then we saw KiWiKaKi go for the fast third, taking a risk. And we saw he put down the third at about the time he was going to go attack. So that's usually what you do. You take a risk, throw down the expansion, then try to counter pressure. That way they'll be worried about your attack and not busy searching for an expansion. But MVP is a great player. We saw how many times he sent out that scout SCV. He scouted out that third, went in for the counterattack. They did a little bit of base trade. And MVP had more units. Pretty good control from KiWiKaKi. Could have been done a little bit better there at his ramp, but he was focusing more of his actions per minute here on the main fight. If he maybe could have landed a couple more force fields, kept this wall off a little bit longer, and controlled his DTs a little bit better, it may have worked out just a hair better for him, but in the long run, MVP could have just used Medevacs, dropped up here on the top, and then eventually got in. So I think even if he did that perfectly, I think MVP still would have won the game, but it would have been a little bit closer. So good game here from MVP and KiWiKaKi. We're going to move on to game number 2 coming up next.